Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Learnify channel, and hope you guys are having a good day. I haven't uploaded in a whole lot of time, so this is going to be like Christmas coming early. Today we're going to be learning about osteoclasts and osteoblasts. So, osteoclasts and osteoblasts, this is for pretty much if you're in university learning a bit of biology. Osteoclasts and osteoblasts are all to do with bones, and how do you remember which one's which? Well, the way I remember it is B for build, osteoblasts build, right? Osteoblasts build bones, right? Whereas osteoclasts, what they do is do something called resorption. And resorption is like a fancy way of saying breaking down. The way I sort of thought about it is it's kind of like you reabsorb bones, right? By breaking it down and like taking the calcium. But that's not that good to think about because reabsorption is kind of different. But osteoclasts breaking, right? So you can think of like catabolism, the C breaking down, and blasts like anabolism building up. Now that we have the topic underway, let's learn a bit about each of these types. Osteoclasts come from a type of cell called hematopoietic stem cells. Now, stem cells you may remember as being undifferentiated cells where they have all the material, all the genetic material to form any type of cell, but the expression of those DNA, we'll call differentiation, will lead to them becoming osteoclasts, so hematopoietic. Whereas osteoblasts are formed by mesenchymal stem cells. Now, it's all well to say that osteoclasts are to do with bone resorption or breakdown, and osteoblasts to do with bone building or build up. But you need to know a bit about how they do these things, right? So, firstly, osteoclasts work by secreting acids. So, for example, carbonic acid and hydronium ions, which then, in combination with enzymes, break down bones into their mineral components. And we mainly look at calcium in terms of bones because calcium, as you know, makes your bones strong, and calcium is a big part of the bones. In fact, the largest reservoir of calcium in the body is in the bones. Now, osteoblasts, what they do is they actually synthesize what we call the bone matrix. So, bones aren't just made of calcium, right? They have all these different cells that we can talk about later. But in between like bone cells, we have something called a matrix, and that's sort of like the extracellular component. And this matrix consists of collagen fibers and other types of proteins. And osteoblasts not only synthesize bones and get them together, but they also secrete the collagen and proteins necessary for your bones to be healthy. Now, another main takeaway is about balance, right? Balance. That's the key takeaway. When we have an imbalance, we can get stuff like osteoporosis. That's the main one. Osteoporosis. And that's where we have too much osteoclast action, right? And too little osteoblasts. You're going to have bones breaking and becoming more brittle. And that's why in osteoporosis, you have bones that are weaker. And that is basically because osteoclasts are working harder than osteoblasts. So, how do we regulate this? Well, there are many regulatory mechanisms, but the main one I want to talk about today is something called RANK-L. Now, RANK-L is an enzyme produced by osteoblasts. Now, we can't have too many osteoblasts either. We don't normally go into that as much because osteoclasts are very important. The overwork of osteoclasts is more important because we talk about osteoporosis a lot more in medicine. But rank L is produced by osteoblasts, and this activates osteoclasts. So when osteoblasts are working hard, it activates osteoclasts to also work hard, so that there's that balance. But we have something called OPG, which is a competitive inhibitor. Competitive inhibitor of rank L receptors. So what happens is OPG, when it binds to those receptors, we get less osteoclast action. Yeah, and that is all I want you guys to remember. But actually, I'll add one more thing. Estrogen in high levels can lead to OPG production. So as you can imagine, more estrogen can actually lead to OPGs blocking up rank L, which can lead to weaker bones. And also with postmenopausal women, you have less estrogen levels. So with low estrogen levels, right, you have really low estrogen levels, like non-existent, such as after menopause. You're going to have less sex androgens, right, sex hormones, which then leads to less secretion of growth hormone, and all those things that then lead to a whole cycle of effects that will then lead to osteoporosis. Whereas here, I want you to just talk about high levels of estrogen, where we have too much estrogen, right? Unlike testosterone, which even at high levels leads to um, more bone breakdown and more bone production, we actually have estrogen at high levels, which actually just inhibits bone breakdown, right? So sorry, no, inhibits the inhibition of bone breakdown. So OPG is the inhibition of bone breakdown, and high levels of estrogen inhibits that. So it's like the two cancel out, leading to normal levels of bone breakdown, which can lead to osteoporosis in older people. So, anyways, guys, that's a difficult topic and a lot to cover in less than like 7 minutes. So, hopefully, it's not too confusing. I just wanted to get my main points out there. But if you guys remember that, that's probably good enough for biology at uni. So, yeah, if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you like it, subscribe, it helps out a lot, and leave a comment down below what you want to see next. Anyways, guys, see you later. Thanks.